Wait, before you refresh that again. That's not your Wi-Fi. That's your balance. Right now, still loading, still not there. Same as last week. Same as every week. You check it 3, 4 times a day. Not because you're obsessed, because you're hoping the number will finally feel like enough. It doesn't. It never does. And you tell yourself it's because you need to earn more, work harder, get the raise, run faster. But what if the problem isn't the size of the tap? What if the problem is which river you were dropped into? In episode 1, we mapped the 3 drains: lifestyle, psychology, time. The reasons money leaves your life faster than it should. But drains are what happens inside your tub. Today we're looking at the river itself, the one that was flowing before you were born, the one that decides who gets to keep what. There aren't 2 economies, there's one economy with 2 rivers, and almost nobody sees the second one. The first river is the need economy: food, shelter, transportation, healthcare, the things humans can't survive without. This river is enormous. Billions of people, fierce competition, razor-thin margins. A grocery store operates on roughly 2% profit, a gas station 1 to 2%. The farmer who grew your breakfast often less. Everyone in this river fights for pennies because the product is essential, which means the customer is poor, which means the business can't charge more, which means the worker can't earn more. The need economy is a volume game. Move more, work harder, squeeze tighter. The second river is the desire economy: status, entertainment, identity. The feeling of being the kind of person who owns this. Luxury goods operate at 60 to 70% margins. Streaming services, software, branded experiences. Margins that would make a grocery store owner weep. The customer isn't price sensitive here. They're emotionally sensitive. They'll pay $3,000 for a handbag that cost $200 to make and feel like they got a deal because of the logo. They'll subscribe to 4 streaming services they don't watch because canceling feels like a decision, and decisions cost energy. Same person, same wallet. 2 completely different rivers, and here's the part that took me too long to see. You work in one river and spend in the other. You earn in the need economy, thin margins, hard labor capped by time. You spend in the desire economy, fat margins, emotional pricing, infinite upside. The river flows one way. You're the current, 2 children, same city, same school, different kitchens. One hears, study hard, get a good job, save what you can. The other hears, what do we own that pays us while we sleep? One is taught to wait for the river. The other is shown where to build the gate. No one lied to either of them. They just didn't know. School teaches you to solve for X, to analyze poetry, to memorize the capital of Paraguay. All of it valuable. None of it shows you the river. I once asked 30 adults to trace a single dollar from their employer's revenue to their paycheck. Not one could do it. 16 years of education, 0 hours on money flow. The river was never on the curriculum. So where do the rich actually stand? Not at the end of the pipe waiting, at the split. Where the pipe divides? Imagine 3 people in the same industry. Plumbing. Person 1 fixes 10 pipes a day. Earns per pipe. Linear. Time for money. When they stop working, the money stops. They're in the need economy. Essential, respected, and capped by the number of hours in a day. Person 2 opens a plumbing supply store. Sells parts to person 1 and everyone like them. Doesn't fix pipes, doesn't get dirty, just sits at the split, collecting a percentage every time money moves toward a fix. Margins are better, scale is possible, but still, they're in the middle of the flow, not the beginning. Person 3 owns the building where the supply store operates, and the building where person 1 lives, and a small piece of the bank that financed person 2's inventory. They don't care about pipes. They don't care about parts. They care about position. They own the ground that the river flows over. 3 people, same industry. 3 completely different relationships to money. Person 1 waits for money. Person 2 serves the flow. Person 3 intercepts it. That's the intercept position. Not where money is made, where money passes, and where someone has built a gate. Let me zoom out for a second. Friday. Every city. Millions of paychecks hit millions of accounts at roughly the same moment. Billions of dollars. Fresh. Yours finally after 2 weeks of labor. Now watch what happens. Not to yours. To all of them. Within 72 hours, most of that money has already returned to where it came from. Rent to landlords. Mortgage payments to banks. Subscriptions to platforms. Groceries to corporations. Gas to energy companies. The minimum credit card payment, mostly interest, back to the issuer. The streaming service you forgot about. The app with the free trial that became a charge. The treat yourself that felt small but wasn't. The money doesn't disappear. It flows. Through specific pipes, to specific hands, and those hands were positioned at the split long before you got your first job. But here's what almost nobody sees. The river is a circle. Your employer paid you on Friday, you spent that money by Sunday. That spending became revenue for a corporation. That corporation paid its landlord, that landlord bought stock. The stock pays dividends to shareholders. The shareholders include your employer's pension fund. The loop closes. The money never left the system. It just left you. You weren't spending money. You were completing a circuit. The loop completes by Monday. You worked 2 weeks. The system processed your paycheck over a weekend, and you're back to checking your balance, watching it load, hoping this week will be different. It won't be. Not until you see the loop. Here's what I mean by the system. Not a shadowy group, not a conspiracy, just a structure that evolved over centuries, shaped by people who understood one thing. Money in motion is more powerful than money in hand. The agricultural revolution created landowners, people who collected from the ground, others worked. The industrial revolution created factory owners, people who collected from the machines, others operated. The tech revolution created platform owners, people who collect from the connections, others make. Each revolution the same pattern. New river, same intercept position. New gate, same people standing at it. Not because they're smarter, because they were taught to look for the split, not the tap. Workers wait for money. Owners intercept money. That's the whole thing. That's the reveal. Not complicated, not secret, just invisible to anyone who was taught to look at earnings instead of flow. Most people ask, how do I get more money? The intercept question is, where is money already moving and how do I stand near it? One is scarcity. The other is positioning. Same effort, different question, different river. You were taught to earn money. Nobody taught you to position yourself where money already moves. The plumber who fixes pipes earns a wage. The plumber who films himself fixing pipes, builds an audience, sells a course on basic home maintenance to 40,000 people. He didn't work harder. He moved upstream. He built a gate where attention was already flowing. The Uber driver earns per ride. Uber collects per ride forever from millions of drivers without ever driving. The driver waits for money. Uber intercepts it. This isn't evil. This isn't unfair. This is just position. And position is a choice, a slow, quiet, daily choice to stop waiting at the end of the pipe and start looking for where the pipe splits. So how do you start? Not by quitting your job tomorrow, not by starting a business you don't understand. Those are theatrical moves. The real move is smaller, boring, almost invisible. The river was never yours. You were just standing in it. Next week, we stop following the river and build the first gate. See you then.